All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 27th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Could all rise for a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good evening and welcome for those of you that have joined us. Any announcements from the board tonight? Not, we'll move on. Additions or deletions to the agenda, I'd like to propose that we add to the agenda the town hall roof bids.
I'll move that we add that to the agenda.
And
I'll second that.
Under new business, item I. So all those in favor? Opposed? So be it.
You in favor of that, Dwayne?
Yep.
Anything else that you'd like to add to the agenda? Since you're not, we'll move on. Hearing a delegation. Is there somebody that's not on the agenda who would like to speak? Representative.
Well, thank you. I see you have a long agenda, so I'll try and make bullet points. I pulled out some facts on question one. You might have seen the commercials out there. And I just thought it was important that you guys, everybody in general, knew what they were getting into when they went to vote on this. So I'll hit the bullet points. If you go to page 13, go to the last paragraph. This is how this whole project's going to be paid for. They're going to eliminate $6 million in, you can't find my glasses, in corporate expenditures. Corporate expenditures isn't really a term that's used in Maine law. So I looked it up, and it's federal. They use this term. And it's very broad, and includes all businesses, not just LLC, not just incorporated, everybody. And then it goes down to the end and it starts talking about how they're going to eliminate these business expenditures by economic impact. Who brings the most value? You can take that for what it's worth, and who brings most value to the community or to the state, big companies or mom and pop shops. So it's up to the commission and the legislature to decide where to start deducting these. And it's $6 million in 2 years. As everybody knows, clean election is all about tax money. Our taxes going to politicians' campaigns. It starts off on page 7, line 34 and 35, where it goes into, right now it's $2 million a year. You take out all the taxes in a block, you give it to the state. Then you got the $2 million, but they use it, but they have to take it away from other programs. So it's already existing taxes. Well, you move on to lines 34 and 35, and it takes it away from the state by eliminating, this is the line they scratched out, within the administrative division and the legislative branch and the executive branch, which is the state, which means it's an automatic tax shift to us of $2 million, which is full circle back to the $6 million in business deductions we have to make. Then it talks about projection. The committee can make a projection saying, well, over the next 2 years, we need more than that $6 million. So they can submit legislation saying we want more money. They changed the projection to 4 years. So now they can look out 4 years. And in 4 years, oh, I missed the best part. The $2 million is automatically $3 million. As soon as this goes through, we're on the limb for $3 million in additional taxes above and beyond what we already pay. So now we have a 4-year projection, automatic $12 million. Then it goes on, it talks about funders, how candidates have to disclose the top 3 funders of your campaigns. But then it gets down to exemptions for commercials. Like, it moves on to say about, big money and special interest groups. Well, they only have to disclose, if you're on a commercial for under 30 seconds, in a certain format, you only have to disclose one funder. In the case of the commercial that's on TV, it's Maynard's for Accountable Clean Elections. And for a commercial that talks about disclosure, this is where they get their money from. M.R.S.A, Proteus, New York, Sean Eldridge, and Washington, D.C, Kamikaze. All out-of-state money flooding into the state of Maine, calling them Maynard's for Accountable Clean Elections. Then it goes on, it's going to up the fines for anybody caught not complying with this stuff. Then it gets down into the commission, who their job is to make sure everybody complies, all right? They use the word may a lot in here. And in law, may could mean shall, but shall can never mean may. So by putting in the word may, if you go to your boss and you ask for a raise, and he says, well, I may give you a raise, do you really know if you're going to get it or not? It goes on to say that they may establish rules for compliance with this. And I think if we're creating law here, it should be adamant. They either got to create rules or not. By leaving that wide open, 2 or 3 candidates go by, and then stop. We created a rule. And the word may gives them that latitude to pick and choose. And it's also the same way when it gets down to the end of this contract, it talks about they may double the fines. Well, may or may not. And, you know, who's going to pick or choose who gets caught up in this mess? And these are just some of the bullet points. If I had more time, I'd go through it, but I saw you had a thick agenda. Let's see. It is, okay, right now you can go to the candy jar once and get tax money. Well, right off the bat, they double the amount of money you can get. No matter what seat you are, the money automatically doubles. And now you can go back a second time and a third time. So where once you could only get $1,500, you can now get $9,000. And it talks about the governor's election. In a contested general, each candidate can have $2 million. This last election, we had 3 guys. If they all went to the cookie jar, that's $6 million. Well, it already wipes out the $6 million that we just set aside from the, well, we didn't set aside that we took away from the businesses. So now we're breaking even, which brings us full circle right back to the committee that can submit legislation for more money if they project we're going to need it. So in itself, there's not enough money to pay for this. Then it goes on, the rest of it is the maximum amount the candidates can get, you know, 10 grand for a Senate seat, 20 grand for a Senate seat, 5 grand for a House seat. And basically the, I can't even figure the percentage of raise. If it's 100%, then it should go with numbers. If you have 100, now you got 200, and now you got 600, what's the percentage of extra money politicians are getting? All in this contract. And this is pretty much the full circle of what's in here. It talks about disclosure, but again, there's so many exemptions. It's only disclosure for candidates, but big money can still run all these commercials. And there's a few more details in there. If anybody like a package, I got one here that you can make copies of and circulate. For all of you out there, you can call me at 710-1614, and I'd be glad to give this to you. Because there's much more in here, but it all is pretty much similar to what you just heard.
Dwayne, do you have that in electronic format?
No.
Okay. Is it on the
I'll get it to you though. I'll have my aide work it up.
state website?
The full version is, yes. This here, what I've done is I created a bullet point version where you can go right to page 13 to this line, and then, but I included the full version with it so you can read before and after it. So you know you're getting everything you need. But this directs you right to, like you can look, it says, oh, funding and disclosure.
Did you send that to Christina or somebody else in you yet?
No.
The larger document?
Nope.
Okay.
Is this pretty much right down party lines? Democrats vote yes, Republicans vote no?
I don't know. We haven't gotten that far into it because we're out of session. I like to give you just my opinion, but
From what I read, the people that are saying vote yes are pretty much Democrats, and the people that are saying vote no are pretty much Republicans.
It looks that way, but I have no facts to that.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question. When you ran, which was a year and a half ago, whatever, did you run as a clean election
No,
candidate?
I spent all my own money
Okay.
and a book of stamps I got from Ginny Day.
Okay.
Anything else, gentlemen? Ladies?
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any one of the other people in the room? All right, let's move on to correspondence. We get the treasurer's report, librarian's report, letter of thanks from the York County Shelters Program, reports and staff initiatives, selectmen reports. Let's start down with Dwayne.
West Road construction up there will be done tomorrow afternoon for the fall. General Dollar was open, had their grand openings Saturday morning. They had one heck of a turnout up there. Hopefully they don't have any parking problems, but it looked like after the grand opening in an hour it was back, so the parking lot was well used, but not overflowing.
Yeah. Anything else, Wayne?
No.
David Joe?
I had Christina print out a survey that came in the email to me today. This is the survey that I spoke about that the 12-town group would be putting together to try and figure out from folks exactly what we're getting for broadband services. And what the 12-town group was hoping is that they'd have this done in time for elections next week, and each town could put handouts at the polls, put it on the town website. Maybe Dave could put it on the website, maybe send something out on our Facebook page to the email group asking folks to fill out this survey. We'll have it returned here to the town hall, and then I'll take care of tallying all of the results. I'll pull a spreadsheet together, and then in January we'll have all of the tallies done, and it'll be a discussion at our 12-town group meeting. So this is what we're trying to figure out, what internet speeds folks are experiencing in town. Are we seeing any problems with a constant drop in speed or a drop in service? I know at the 12-town group, one of the things that got brought up was it seems like a lot of folks around 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and then again in the evening, like between 6 and 8, are seeing a significant decrease in their service reliability. So that's another thing that we're kind of trying to get a handle on. And then from that, we'll determine, is there an interest from the municipalities at looking at the broadband and seeing what would be available for funding, and if we did it as a collaborative instead of as individual communities, if that's something that would be doable. But right now, it's a very, very expensive endeavor.
Okay.
Is there a date, Tammy Jo, to when we want to have those back by?
I would say by December 1st.
We need to put that on there.
So, I
Yeah,
guess
it doesn't say
the
it.
question that I have, and Dave might know this,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we put together a survey monkey survey that people could access this right on the,
Because
town
this is the
website.
same form that, well, if he can do it so that it's exactly the same
right,
form.
we could ask the same question,
Yeah.
right? I mean, really what you want to know is the information on the back, right?
Well, if we're hoping that people will be willing to give us at least their location.
Yeah.
So that we can kind of peg out if we have more problematic areas than others.
Do you hear that, David? I'm just curious as to, it wouldn't take a lot to put together a survey that people could pull right off from the website, right? And-
No, you could use, Survey Monkey,
Right.
probably together pretty quick, yeah.
I think the consistency, the issue
It would
that
have
we
to
need-
mirror
right.
this.
Okay.
It would have to be identical to this because we want all 12 towns using the same form.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Gordon?
I was just reading over the correspondence that, the Board of Selectmen receive generally on a weekly basis, and I noticed that there's a press release here, and I just thought that it would be interesting for the folks in town to know that the loss prevention efforts and the programs that the town of Waterboro currently has in place are so good at this point that we have received a dividend check for just $2 shy of $5,000 from Maine Municipal Association because of those programs that we have in effect. And I think that the townspeople ought to know that, we're certainly, being very watchful of, every tax dollar that's being spent, that's spent in a good way, that we're receiving, things back from that in a positive way. I'd also like to comment on some correspondence we had regarding our IT director, and to echo the sentiments of the town administrator about the things that Dave Lowe does that are just above and beyond, his position. And it seems like he's always there to take on something extra when he's asked. Most recently was to help bridge the the input of data from Apple to PC, which helped immensely in a fire department training program where we had hosted several other agencies for a training function here in town that could not have been accomplished without his expertise. And it's the little things like that he does over the course of the year that I think certainly deserves recognition by this board, and the townspeople should know that we have that type of responsible individual on the staff here that's working for them. The third item I noticed in our correspondence was a notice of a cleanup on a certain property down in South Waterboro along 202. And I'm not going to identify it specifically by name because I certainly don't want to cast any aspersions on the person who had that property, but I'm sure that there's probably a number of people in town that did see that particular eyesore and have noticed that it has been cleaned up. This was part of an overall objective that we had given the code enforcement officer as to locate and identify properties in town that didn't reflect adequately the image that we're trying to portray for the town of Waterboro. Those places that may be habitual yard sales or have large amounts of debris and trash on their property, or properties that are run down and dilapidated. We've asked him to take appropriate action to see that those things are cleaned up. And to date, I know that there are several properties that probably people have noticed that have been either demolished or have been cleaned up. And I think that kudos goes to the CEO for keeping on top of this and following the mandates of the board. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
John?
I'd also like to say thank you to Dave for the work he's done and continues to do with the photo day. So you did all the setup on the website, and he'll be working with Carrie DeAngelis and I in selecting pictures and setting up a second poster out there. So thank you, Dave. Another thing where he goes a little bit beyond his job description. Yes, last Tuesday we spent some time talking about the comprehensive plan and a community center, and I said that what I would do is start talking with Mike DeAngelis regarding the recreation part of it. We did spend a half hour or so today, and we're going to spend a little more time and then get the information that he has. He has considerably a lot of it because he's been working in this field for a while, and he knows it and feels it passionately. I think we'll come up with something we feel should be a part of the recreation part of this. So it was a great talk, and we'll continue forward, and I'll keep you updated on it. Well, something will come down in writing that what the recommendation is for the recreational part of the community center. there's a whole bunch of ifs out there right now, though, aren't there?
Sure
I
are.
mean, beyond if people want to pay for it, but if where it will be, and there's some interesting ifs.
Okay. Anything else, John?
No.
All set? Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to be chatting for a little extra time here with my report, I think. In terms of new staff, Christine Tono, our relatively new deputy town clerk, and our customer service rep, Georgia Hall, are working out well out front. Georgia is here Tuesdays and Fridays only, which is by design, and Christine works Tuesday through Friday on a 32-hour work week like the rest of the crew out front here. Our base paving for Straw Mill Brook Road and Deering Ridge Road has been completed. The finished paving won't be done for another year or two, which is, I guess, by standard operating procedures in terms of letting it set for at least one winter. You'll see the ditch grading on Straw Mill Brook Road done by the end of the week probably, but I went down and looked at the gravel pile down at the transfer station, and there's not a whole lot left there, so we may leave that final shaping edge that our paving company does for us until next spring. Our audit prep is 80% complete, with the remaining 20% pretty much having to be done here in the building with Julie and testing of our records and pulling of bills. And the auditor states he should be completed by the end of November. Moving over to municipal buildings, we have several things going on right now. We got bids in today for the roof. You have those before you. I also emailed the results earlier today. So we did receive 4 bids, and we can talk about later on the agenda item this evening. We've been doing some work over at the library. We've discovered that there's zero insulation above part of the back library roof, which is cause for this drainage problem over there and ice dams. We're going to get that fixed before we get too far into the winter here. And our storage room in the old section of Town Hall has been cleaned out. We have a great pile over there of records that Deputy Town Clerk, the former Deputy Town Clerk, the Code Officer, CEO, Secretary, myself, and now Jimmy Carl have been through. Jimmy has some things to go through, and he can either take those or put them in the discard pile. That's in process to make that room functional over there. Fire station is going to get some additional heat out in their bays. Those bays are too cold to work in, so I'm told, in the depths of the winter. So that's also in process. If you recall, our propane tank froze up last winter because it was under so much snow. I thought that would be warmer, but if it doesn't get regular sun, I guess, that can be a problem. So we're going to bury 2 tanks. The tanks don't cost us anything. We're going to take care of this problem for the long haul. Get those out of sight and out of the snow and underground. We are looking for an architect, and we have a bid out for architectural services for possible addition to the fire station. Those bids are due November 9th, and we've had some interest. So we still have some time before those bids are in, and then Selectmen will review the bids at the next meeting, November 10th. Salt shed bid documents have been drafted, and Doug and I need to provide some comments back to the engineer. We have lots of time. We don't think we need to go out probably until December or January for the bidding for this, because we're not going to build anything until next spring. We would like to have that salt shed up and completely finished by the end of August 2016. I'm looking forward, if you can, to knowing what the health insurance rate increases are going to be. I've heard it can be upwards to 11% depending on the plan you have. I don't have those rates. I thought they were supposed to come out at 5 o'clock last night. I don't have them by email from MMA yet today, even though they may be out. And I've also, in the world of preventative maintenance, I guess, with Department of Labor, I've been wanting to do this for some time. I've asked the Department of Labor to come in and do a voluntary compliance check for us. I think you had an involuntary one 4 to 6 years ago and had to do some things to avoid some fines. We have another public works garage, some other changes, so I've asked them to come. Matt has been helpful in that. They're coming here Friday, December 4th, for probably all day at the fire stations, and then Monday the 7th, I will spend that time with the person for transfer station here, library, and public works garage. We will spruce up some things that we can, but we know that whatever they find that day will be a list that we have to do, but there will be no fines involved. So we're proactively trying to make ourselves safer, more compliant with risk management. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Any questions, comments? Okay, item C, Clint Andrews. We're gonna talk a little bit about Transfer station policy revisions, in the Waterboro transfer station usage agreement, also known as the dump.
Gary, I did talk yesterday, Sunday and Monday. I did talk to Adele, and she did explain to everybody that was in Bangor for that meeting that they had, what they're going to do. They're gonna give you like 60 or 90 days to complete everything that they find in that audit when they go through. Oh, yep.
And they will return. And the last time we did that, I think it was Matt and I asked, that was voluntary, but they didn't come back. In the past, they haven't done that. They just asked you to send a letter saying that this has all been completed, very much like the insurance underwriters.
Oh, the last one was voluntary also?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know it. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I think we should, if everybody goes back and looks at that, I think we're pretty well set.
Yep.
Except for a few cards here and there. David left. She was down here, 3-4 weeks ago, and she gave that course on skid steers and all that, and she kept looking around, couldn't find anything to plug into, and she looked over there and she says, "Who did that?" No extension cords, remember that. Okay?
You have to use them sometime, come on.
I guess you can use one.
Plug
But-
in.
but you can't use
plank
two.
one off of another.
That's right.
Yeah.
They find that cause a lot of fires. And they did, Monday, I thought I was gonna go cuckoo, all the things that they've changed that, safety-wise, it's just tons and tons. They spent almost an hour and a half on, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, and, But I think having them come do that audit is gonna really pay off in the long run. Won't get any fines that way. We've got a, usage agreement for haulers. You've all read it, I assume. I don't know what else to really say other than, like page 4 has all, I tried to put everything down, stickers, Hollis, Waterboro, concerns that they had, things that everybody wanted, and it's kind of all listed right there.
Now, why did you decide to go with $25? Gary, why did you decide to go with $25?
Blame it on me. We're not gonna be charging them anything different down at the transfer station, which I agree, we shouldn't. I just went the extra $5, I guess, for administrative.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. It shouldn't hurt them that bad. No.
It's all right.
And they're getting a pretty good service there for little money, really. As I told you before, I had one man that came and offered me $200 if I'd give him a Waterboro sticker. That's,
So I guess is the next step here is that we get a letter off to the board down there and say, this is what the proposal is.
Roger Hicks called today, I spoke with him and told him I think everything that was captured in the chat we had was on paper, and he'd be reviewing this tonight, and I'd be getting back in touch with him, so.
So I would say let's throw the ball into their court and say, is this what you think that you understood? And is everything, okay with you? And then we'll put it back on the old business next agenda and vote to go forward with it, I guess, unless they've got some wholesale changes, but I
don't think they should,
I wouldn't
'cause
think that, but
You
They
want to
shouldn't.
send that to them, or do you want me to?
I'll send it to them if you want me to.
Okay,
Sure.
go ahead.
Is that gonna require a vote from their board as well?
yeah.
Yes.
That we're gonna have on file?
Yeah.
So I thought you were gonna do a memo of understanding or some issue that would say this is the proposal.
Oh, in addition to this?
Yeah, something that would say that, well, no, not in addition to that, but, you were gonna put something together for them, I think that's how we left it. So,
I think-
certainly Clint can send it, but I would think it would be more appropriate coming from you.
That's fine. In my mind, what Clint did with this is over and above any MOA
Yeah, yeah.
or MOU that we needed.
So I'm fine with the language
Do you
in
want
this.
a cover document for this?
Just a letter saying, hey, this is, and if you approve, please send us the, copy of the minutes where your board has approved it, and
Yeah.
then the town, and then we'll put it in front of this board on the, well, it's gonna be what, the 10th?
10th is the next meeting. All right, I'll do that with a cover letter, I'll copy Clint, and then, so if they're okay with that, you don't see the need for another joint meeting then?
I think they were,
Okay, I don't either.
We're all
Yeah,
on the
this-
same.
I was noticing in the document itself that there's signature blocks for all the selectmen in Hollis as well as ours.
I would guess if they could sign it and send it to us, and we'll
We'll
go
vote and sign.
from there.
Well, I did talk to Roger today about whether or not he wanted to have a joint meeting of selectmen required for a revocation of somebody's transfer station permit. In my mind, that's what you paid Clint and I to do,
Absolutely.
and if you want to change that, that's fine, if you don't, that's fine. I just see that as a waste of your time.
You're gonna have two boards of selectmen, all, all wanting to get their own piece in. You gonna make any headway? No.
No, I think
Don't
that this
have a
is,
selectmen meeting.
this become an issue of, it's our responsibility to do all of the things that have to be done on this end,
Right.
period.
Our transfer station, I mean,
Right,
That's
so if they wanna
bottom
use,
line.
they wanna use it based on this criteria, fine, if not, they
And this document reads, it's gonna be Clint and myself having the first shot at the revocation. And
Yep.
Good?
Also in there, there's the transfer station policies. We haven't updated those for quite a while, and that's all been done. When this is signed, it's all new prices, new everything.
Okay.
A lot of stuff has been taken out, or it's no charge anymore, so everybody ought to be happy. It's what we're doing now, basically.
You know, I'm waving over here.
That will have to be voted on by the board to update the policy.
Yes.
So I don't know, do you want to wait and do that when you approve the agreement?
Yeah, I
well,
think-
if we're sending that as part of the agreement, the pricing, then we need to approve that before we send this agreement to the
Yeah.
all the selectmen.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
if we don't agree on the pricing, we'd look pretty foolish going back to them saying, oh, we changed our mind.
I don't know why you just couldn't do a vote, you know, right now or whenever, and then send it signed. It's up to you guys.
I'm fine, if that's everybody's pleasure, then, wanna talk about the policy?
Sure.
Is there much that changed, Clint?
Well, Christina did most of it for me. We put things together and kind of squeezed it so that we'll have a little block at the bottom there again if we need to add anything else. But the $25 for the sticker, that would be added in. The dates,
But the disposal fees is what you're talking about.
that's right.
So the disposal fees, which are on,
Very little changed. If you go down through, a lot of them are 00 or no charge.
seven of 9 and
Yeah.
8 of 9 of the document, right?
Right. Everything has stayed pretty much the same with what we're doing right now.
So does the chair entertain a motion to add that to the agenda to discuss and vote on the policy?
I would do that. I would entertain that motion if you want to change this to a discuss and vote. We'll add that to this line item.
Okay, I'll make that motion, that we add that to the agenda so that when we submit the paperwork to the Hollis Board of Selectmen, that, you know,
It's approved by us.
that's already approved by us, yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second. And I just to understand this, when we send it, we've already approved it, so if they sign it, it's done.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the way
Yeah.
this would go now, right? Any discussion? Anybody want to wordsmith the fees? I think it should be $2, not $1.
So everything, the fees that you have in here are covering our costs,
Yes, yes.
and items that we're no longer paying for, residents are not gonna have to pay for.
That's right.
Now, what about, I know that there were some things that you had stopped charging for because we were getting some money for them, and now
Well,
maybe things are gonna be changing a
Like
bit.
all the light bulbs and motor oil, we get money back for most of those. And, you know, it's really not costing anything, so I think way back, the committee and some of the selectmen, I think we talked about it, that, you know, just don't charge as long as we're getting money back.
Then it's getting it out of the environment.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that the thing that would come with this is should something dramatically change with disposal fees. then
Yeah,
we would-
and that's
we would have
covered, that's covered in the agreement
That's
here.
covered in the agreement, and we would bring that
Yeah.
back, and we would change that piece of the policy.
Yeah, it's like the metal, we don't charge
So I
for
guess
metal
the-
now.
The question is the way that this is written, do they then have to approve it on their end again?
No, I think you're leaving it that you have the right to change,
Right.
this board has the right to change it.
I just, the two boards are listed here for signatures, I
Yeah.
would. As long as they understand that, their signatures are certifying their agreement with the proposal as it is today, but subsequent changes to fees,
Right.
we will not go back to them. I'm not sure that bothers them anyway, they're not paying them, right? They're citizens are paying them, right? So, any further
It-
discussion?
In Article 6 on here, it says, the Waterboro Board of Selectmen reserves the right to amend any disposal fees.
Okay,
So,
that should take care of it.
yeah.
Sensing no more discussion, all those in favor, opposed, motion passes.
It's a motion to add this to the
Oh, yes,
agenda.
most of the agenda item. Okay, now that it's on the agenda item, need a motion to approve the policy agreement as presented.
So moved.
Are we taking that out of order now, or, because that was added onto the end?
No, I added that onto this line item.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I thought that was the motion. That's at least the way I explained it.
Oh, okay, all right.
That we would take it up right now.
That's fine, it just, yep.
So, a motion to approve the,
So moved.
it's been moved, someone second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on the policy? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Clint.
Okay.
Appreciate the
Thank you
time
very
and
much,
effort.
Clint, for doing that.
Thank you, Christina, for being the scribe or whatever.
Christina did a lot of work. She had to retype the whole agreement.
All right. New business. Vote on board and committee applicants. I believe we have only one decision
I will
to
make a
address.
motion to put Tim Neal on to the ZBA opening.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Appoint Tim Neal. We do have a couple of other applicants for committees, but we will forego those this evening. Okay, item 2 on new business. Discuss board and committee attendance. This was an issue kind of raised by Tammy Jo, so why don't we start with you?
The road review committee has a member who has only made one meeting in the past calendar year. They also had had a couple of meetings that had been canceled due to weather or whatnot. The policy is that committee members have a 70% attendance rate. Clearly, this member does not. He has in the past had issues with attendance, and we did send a letter to him as well as some other committee members reminding them of the 70% attendance commitment and asking if they wanted to continue on the committee or if they would prefer to be off the committee. And so I think it's maybe time to kind of look at doing that again. You know, particularly with the fact that we had somebody that came in tonight and had expressed an interest potentially in joining the road review committee, having somebody that's an active member opposed to somebody who's a non-active member certainly would be much more desirable. So I'd like to start with just, you know, a letter similar to what we sent before, reminding them that there is an attendance that they need to meet, and if we don't hear by them from a certain date, then we're going to assume that they don't want to continue with the committee, and we'd remove them and replace.
So the last time I think we did this, we had all of the secretaries of those committees submit attendance.
Yep.
And we specifically addressed only those that were problematic.
Yes.
I would
I
suggest
think
that
it
we
ended
could
up
do
being
that.
3.
We could do that again rather than sending everybody a
Yep.
note
Yeah.
saying.
I was gonna say, I think it ought to go to the secretaries of the board.
Right.
Uh,
So let's poll the secretaries of those boards for their attendance. And look at where we have issues. And from that,
Do you then want me to send a letter to anyone that's not meeting the 70%, or do you want to report back from me?
I think we just send it for anyone that's not meeting the 70%. At least that would be my preference, right? I mean, I don't think we gotta get in and say, well, send it to this one or that one.
Yeah.
If they're not making them, then let's send it to anybody that's not making that number.
And
And I think the letter was, you know, kind of structured the last time that, you know, we know things change and people are busy and, you know, I mean, if there's a,
I was gonna say, the 70% is a guideline, but if they're not making 50%,
Yeah.
then we need to replace them.
I
because
think we'll,
they're not putting input enough into the board.
I think when you do this, it'll stick out like a sore thumb. I think that's what it did last time, so. Somebody that's,
Should that letter come directly from us, or should we refer it back to the chair of that committee
No,
to
that's-
police their own members?
I think that it comes from us,
Okay.
Yeah.
because we're the ones that have the authority to remove somebody from a committee. A committee can't say, oh, this person isn't working out, we want him off our committee. It has to be done by the selectmen, so I think that this is a correspondence that needs to come from here, and a decision that needs to come from here.
I would agree.
Yep.
Okay, so Christina, if you can poll the secretaries and we'll move that on. And I would say let's follow up in, not the next meeting, but in 2 meetings, just of who we sent letters to so that the board's aware of what happened.
And the letter would say that if they're interested in continuing their service, they need to contact City Hall within 30 days, and if we don't hear from them, we assume they're no longer interested, and then we would vote to remove them at a future selectmen's meeting.
You know, Christina can't wait.
All right. This will be one of the more exciting pieces of our agenda this evening. I don't mean that with any disrespect,
Yes, you do.
but the subject matter will be. All right, item, we all done, we're all set with B, everybody's content with that? Item C, discuss and vote on the FEMA flood maps.
I think Dave is gonna pull up some nice
Okay.
colored pictures for us.
Need the screen, Dave?
Yes, please.
I gotta get some water before I get in. Whoa. Go ahead.
Is that the best, Dave?
That's
We do need to buy that brighter projector, don't we, Dave?
Yes, we did, yes, we did.
We should have plenty of money in our,
Yeah, we can do it.
get the one with the, you know, the higher, the more defined imagery too.
Let's go to the next panel.
These are kind of all individuals. So
Yeah.
it's
And go to panel 3, I think that's, a lot of this is combined with Limerick.
Yeah, let's look at the lake.
Yeah. Let's blow that up a little bit. That's Ospey Lake right there. Yeah, that's good for starters. The CD was supplied by FEMA, so. The red lines are the newest version. And unfortunately, you can't, there are blue lines in there somewhere.
Yep.
Blow it up one more time, Dave. There we go. That blue line is where the floodplain is currently. And you can see there's some changes. And the red line is proposed.
So they're actually
So they've
backing
shrunk.
them off.
Yep, they've shrunk a lot, especially
that's
that area right there.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish I knew the lake better, so I could tell you where things are, but I don't see any landmarks that I can help you with. Dave, can we get closer to the bottom of the page, maybe?
Right where that black line is in the narrows of the lake.
Okay, that's good right there, Dave. Let's try blowing it up one more time.
So is this just better quality elevational data?
Yeah, it is. They do everything with satellites, and
That's a huge change.
yeah, there's a big difference.
So, what's their reasoning, do you know?
It's just better engineering and better satellite work and better topography.
So what was the date on the old ones?
I think here, I believe they're 2003.
Okay, so we moved, what, 12 years advance in technology to better define a wetland?
Right.
Well, no, this is more elevational.
It is more elevational.
Just quality to the inches. So
Okay,
that red line is more accurate to where the elevation needs to be than the blue used to be.
They've, that zone
Accuracy,
right
it's
there
like
is,
estimating.
so that's part of Lake Arrowhead then, right?
Yeah,
It's-
Goodwill
it's
Park
over-
is at the bottom of the.
Over to
right down the
your
bottom.
right, it says the Floyd.
yeah, see that major lane right there, that's,
That's on, that's
Right.
Yeah,
on,
that's on the Limerick side.
yeah, you're right there.
right. So you gotta scroll down on the, that's not Ospey Lake, that's Lake Arrowhead.
Yeah, it is like Arrowhead.
Anybody read that right there? Hold it right there, Dave.
That's,
Island Road.
Yeah, it's still Limerick.
Yeah, it looks like we might be in the Limerick.
Little Ospey River.
Okay, we're out of town now. Let's go to the next panel, Dave. Give us 200% on that, see where it brings us.
Oh, that looks like the river.
Town
That's-
of Limerick.
Town of Limerick.
All right. Waterboro will be in this panel, I just can't.
There's Foss River right
So if you come down
So you gotta come down.
a little ways,
Okay.
So
right
there's the
there.
Ospey River.
there. Right.
Yeah.
What was the other ones?
There's the town of Waterboro. I don't know exactly where
I apologize for these maps, but this is all they gave us.
So what's the,
Yeah.
if you could go back up the river, what's the green, Glenn, in the river shot right there?
The green is actually the floodway.
Keep going up, Dave, to the river section.
this way?
Yeah,
Right there.
Is that it?
That's the channel?
Right, that's the channel and the adjacent land. So in FEMA's minds, none of this should be developed.
Is that an inundation zone or?
Right, it is the floodplain.
Clint, you
Yeah.
started telling us what the yellow sections were.
Yellow is, that's a new zone A. So this area wasn't in floodplain originally, but now it is. Blow it up a little bit more, Dave, see if we can tell what that is. And scroll up,
Which way up?
Yeah.
this way. I'm trying to get to that yellow zone at the bottom of the page, right there.
Yeah.
Just trying to identify what that is.
That's a street.
Poverty Pond, that's a,
That's Newfield, isn't it?
that's Newfield.
It's town of Waterboro, though.
Harvey Mills Stream.
Anybody recognize that?
So it's the Ospey River, but it's way up on the north end of
Yeah,
Limerick side to the Newfield side, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
In the new maps, when we get the paper maps, the structures will be shown. As best they can. Our 911 is not really up to speed as much as it should be, so a lot of the houses won't be shown because our 911 is not current.
Did they actually draw rectangles on the roof lines?
Yep, they do.
Nice.
Let's try another panel, Dave.
What county paid for it?
Oh, there's a lot of color on this one. This would be really fun, Christina.
So there's some water flow right
Oh,
there.
that's the river way on the right there.
Right
It's
here.
just where along the river that it is.
Is that right on 5 or it comes in at the boundary?
Let's see.
So you're gonna get some paper maps.
We're gonna get paper maps. I was kind of pushing this along because we have to decide before November 15th on whether we like this or not.
Ooh, what's that?
I mean, I would rather look at paper maps
Well,
because I can't figure out what the heck I'm looking
I
at
hear
here.
ya.
This is not,
Yeah, no, they did not supply us with paper maps.
Well, there's a road there, so.
Yeah, blow it up so we can get a landmark so we know where we are.
There's Clark's Bridge Road.
Can you
on
see
the
that from
Oh,
there?
left, right there.
Where?
Right on the
Yeah.
left, just to the left of the yellow, let's see.
right where your red dot was almost.
Can I see
Yeah,
that?
Flags Bridge Road.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. The thing is, I can't tell what end that is.
So this comes
Well,
down
this-
to,
the river, it's gotta
I
be.
can't see this.
that's like North Waterboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it
So
may
that's
not-
new?
It may not be,
That's
because
a
it may be up on the Limerick line. Even though it says
Well,
Fox
Flags
Bridge.
Bridge Road
The
crosses
blue is
crosses the
existing.
river, right?
Right. And that may be on the
What
Limerick
uses-
It's
line
like
right
the split.
there.
Yeah, so they've designated that a new flood zone, zone A.
So the flood zone in there is
It's,
smaller than it used to be.
Correct.
The yellow,
Oh,
Yeah.
there's Things Mill way up on the top of the left, so yeah, that's pretty
Oh, okay.
far out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gonna try that.
Yeah, it's up where Dwayne lives.
Yeah, I want to hit all these panels so you guys can see all, some of them won't have much on them.
How long is
Yeah,
that?
it's
Let's go
Livingston,
right there, Dave.
Livingston, Limerick. There we go.
That's Lake Arrowhead right there.
Yep.
This is
Yeah,
what I
that's the
really.
dam. The dam is over where the green starts.
Right here?
Yep.
Blow it up, Dave. Keep this on the center of the screen if you can. Yeah, this is really different right here.
Oh, Ospey Landing, New
Yep.
Dam Road way on the right there.
And you
Yeah.
can just barely make out the, oops.
There's the old Pullen Road right
So,
there.
there's Old Fort.
So this was
Okay, yeah.
existing
Yeah.
and now it's way down here. So this will make some people happy.
That'll,
Yeah.
it'll
those
change
people right
their,
there are not gonna be happy.
Correct.
it'll change their insurance.
It will change your insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
And the lomas that
Elmline
might,
Drive.
we do have some lomas out in this area, and, yeah, they may have gotten a loma last year, and it will be obsolete this year. They will either have to renew it, or they won't have to deal with it. And FEMA just says, oh well. So that's a new zone A right there.
Overall, there's more people seemingly coming out of floodplain.
Yeah, that's true, Gary.
Which is a good thing,
Yep.
as long as it's accurate and proper. Does this require a selectman vote to,
It does to adopt the map.
but these aren't the final maps yet?
It's not the final map. What we're doing tonight is either saying, no, there's some changes we need to discuss, or FEMA's got it down pat. You know, unfortunately, I can't really help you on suggestions, because
Well,
I don't know the
I'm
lakes
not-
enough.
I mean, this is like,
You need the paper maps to do that.
I was gonna say, we really ought to have paper maps, but the maps,
I mean, we could get as much information from Stevie Wonder, right? I mean, we really.
Yeah.
How do we know what our flood
how do we
zones
kn-
and
yeah,
what
how do
we're
we
on?
know where?
I think he was referring to how it's being looked at. That's given us as much information as,
Right,
yeah,
but we're not experts in flooding or whatnot, so
no.
Well,
how do we,
that's true, I guess.
How would we say, well, we disagree with that?
right,
well, before, you always had a plastic sheet to set over
Overlays.
overlays to see where that fell in the. Is this coming from FEMA?
This?
No, the overlays.
You've got the overlays right there,
We won't be
no
getting,
more plastic maps.
no more plastic maps, no.
You know, though,
You're gonna have a hard time overlaying that.
every place is a difference. You're gonna wanna go, you're gonna have people that live there. The question is, do they wanna contest it? Sitting here and seeing the whole thing, I haven't got a clue.
I don't,
So, but if I had a piece of land that was flood zone and now isn't, I'd probably say, yeah, great. But how am I gonna know all those little pieces that affect everybody in town?
You don't, the individual property owners would have to contest it on their own.
Yeah,
The town can't contest it.
From
for
this
them.
though, how does the property owner even know if he falls into that area?
yeah.
I mean,
That-
there's nothing really that identifiable here to say.
The paper maps will be, I mean, these are better than what I have right now. I mean, to identify if a property's in a floodplain right now, if it's questionable, I will declare it a floodplain, and then that property owner has to prove to me that it's not. And that means getting a surveyor to do a flood elevation. And that's gonna be the same thing here. It'll be, all the money is being put into coastal towns. You know, as far as detail and clarity of that detail.
I just find it amazing that it's,
So these maps won't get much better than what you see other than being on paper.
That's the question. It's not the maps. It's how do we agree with it or disagree with it?
I hear you.
Yeah, if we say we don't agree with that, how do we qualify that?
Yeah.
And what happens if we say we're not taking any action?
If we don't take any action, these plans will go into final stages.
I guess I would like to wait until we get the paper maps to see if it's a better quality, so maybe we can make head or hair of
Okay?
what we're looking at.
I'll see how far out they are for making paper ones.
what is this?
It's Chadbourne Ridge and Weber. This is the
Oh,
top.
okay, so that's
Oh, it's the
Osby Lake, that's the
top of
dam.
Ossipee, yeah.
Okay.
Glenn, do we get paper maps before the final ones come out?
So
They didn't
let's look
talk,
at
they didn't
David's
talk like
thing.
that, no.
They wouldn't be doing that probably.
Let's
They
look
won't be
at-
doing that.
Area.
Let's look at that
Can you go-
right there, that's where the dam is.
Is this where the dam
Yeah,
is?
so now you're coming down, I'm just looking at that peninsula, right? I
Right
mean,
here?
there's very little change there, to the left of your red mark, right?
Yeah.
So the other side.
To the other side, there's minimal change.
you got quite a.
So all of that, you know, where John Custrin and all of those folks live on the Weber Road,
This is all.
that doesn't look like it changes at
When you get
all.
over in here, on
Now you get over
Files
where
Road.
Pam and Dale live and whatnot, in there, looks like they're gonna come out.
And that, and yellow is all new?
That's where that brook runs.
Yeah, they've
across.
established a new zone there.
Yeah, there's a brook that runs down
So
through.
there's 28 houses in there.
This
That
yellow,
little zone right there.
this yellow says to me that the base elevation has been established where it wasn't established before.
And the blue goes away, the blue
The
dotted.
blue goes away.
So where A on the extreme left there bumps up closer to Chapman,
Yeah.
is there a house there?
Blow it up a little bit more right here, Dave,
Yeah,
if you can.
Scott.
Yeah, it
I
should
mean,
be, there's
Oh, yeah, sure there is.
Who's the woman that used to be on the finance committee? or
Yeah.
something?
The
Yeah.
Youngs.
I'm trying to think.
They're back more towards the middle of this picture, right?
They're back
Isn't that a
closer to
driveway
that
there?
road right there, but,
Yeah, 'cause that's the man barn next to the road there,
I
and
mean,
then the
that
houses.
elevation, look,
They're out,
that
they're coming
elevation
out.
line is 320 feet.
Yep,
that's the old Johnson sawmill
right here.
parcel of land, the whole parcel right there, right out to Route 5.
I don't think the 320 is yellow, it looks it right there, but it doesn't
What
appear.
is up at the top?
Yeah, but that's another line coming in.
So it was
Oh,
blue
I
and
see.
now it's yellow extended
I
out.
think it's that, but it's close.
It is.
So there's,
Where's Middle Road? Anybody know where Middle Road is in reference to where we are? This way?
Well, that's
yeah,
Chapman
you
Ridge.
gotta go
that's-
across.
That's coming right out.
Yeah, you gotta- Yeah, you gotta go to where Clint is.
Yeah.
it's over,
There's-
across the street, up this, all the way to the left, Glenn.
Right here?
So
To the
there's,
very far left, that's Clark's.
but, you know, that drainage area that used to come down and go into that mill pond,
Yeah, that's where the mill pond is right there.
it came down across from by the church, that,
They didn't even show it.
well,
Bagley Road. Okay.
Well, yeah, it doesn't come out,
I think,
that's not passable.
I mean, it's nice information to have at this point, but like I said, it's
Huh?
like,
Of course it is.
The Bagley Road,
Yeah,
up through there,
two-wheel drive pickup.
Huh?
Two-wheel last.
a four-wheel drive
No,
pickup,
two-wheel drive,
two-wheel?
yeah.
Wow. You can go all the way through from Route 5 to right up there.
Yeah. When David lost his car, I heard it through there.
No, they've established this
Ah.
zone, right.
There's your middle.
all right,
Oh,
what,
yes.
I guess, what do you want us to do? I mean,
Well,
I don't think we have, and when we do get paper copies, I think all we're gonna be able to say is, yeah, we approve them, right? Or, I'm not sure that,
Well, when you get a paper copy, you're gonna be able, should be able to take that plastic sheathing that you've got and lay it over it and see how close those are.
maybe.
Yeah, if they're in the same scale.
But what's on the plastic is irrelevant to this information.
Right, the plastic is just 911 and that's obsolete almost.
Now, some communities have hired well-trained surveyors to meticulously go in, especially near the coast,
Yeah,
to question the methodology.
yep.
In my mind, you're either all in with somebody like that, or you accept them as they are.
Correct.
And go as usual as you do with loaners
Yep.
and surveyors.
so the red line,
The red
Do we-
line is
do-
a new border. for
do we
floodplain.
know what that elevation is compared to what they thought the blue line was?
I don't.
Should be the same.
Well,
With better
well, there's
data
gotta
showing
be-
where it
there's-
is.
I mean, the only science that's here is elevation, right?
Yeah.
So they're striking a line that says, this elevation be at 180 feet
On
above
this
sea level,
particular
right?
one here, there's relatively no change.
You know, but they jump back in further there by,
Yeah.
by Betty Lane and,
Blow us up a little bit more, Dave, if you would, please.
that's all
that's a big
where,
change.
It is a big change right
who was the
there.
guy that just
Yeah.
came to
Any
the
houses in there?
planning board?
Yeah, it's over where
Over here.
Leo and Sandy
Yeah,
live.
who was the guy that just came to the planning board that was
Oh,
trying to?
man, Boucher.
is that on Connolly?
Dennis and
Right.
Travis Boucher. They're on the Biddy Lane, they're
Right.
right here somewhere. And Vanette's, I think, Vanette's must be right here somewhere.
But the other fellow that came to the planning board was,
Oh,
Albert?
Albert.
yep, Dan Elbert.
Danny Albert. So, well, I mean, it's irrelevant, they were they're down on the other piece where, on the peninsula, right?
Yeah,
So,
I can't think of the name of that road, that is, Conley Point.
Conley Point.
Dave, see if we can find Conley Point somewhere in
But
that.
look at the, what elevations are there? You know, when you look at
It's
It's
the,
like
gonna
a
be off
Silas Brown.
Silas, it's gonna be off Silas Brown Road.
oh,
It's like the first road.
It's the first road that's gonna be on the right-hand side as you're headed towards Chadbourne Ridge.
that would be the significant difference between us and the coastal towns.
I think you're too
I
high,
mean,
Dave.
we've got elevations about 310 or
All
320,
right, so the-
right?
The new
Because that's
road,
where
Laddie
they're,
Lane.
they can't build on, but the road that's strong, they can now build on.
Well,
right.
Some
They can
people, some
build
people
it.
are gaining property.
That's it,
buildable.
Laddie Lane
Right.
and Conley.
Does this affect shoreline at all?
That doesn't even have it.
Yeah, Conley Point, Laddie Lane's off Conway Point Road, yeah.
The gates playing in that little peninsula.
Actually, there's a section they took out.
Whoa, look at that peninsula, how can that red line not go around that?
It's in it.
I know, what's the elevation on that?
we're right here?
No, the next one up, that isn't covered, that one right there.
Anything to the right of that red line is in the floodplain.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, so what's on there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess it was always in.
But they took quite a bunch of that up.
They
through.
did.
Yeah.
Does this affect shoreline, the distance from shoreline?
No.
This is just flood something.
Yeah. So I don't see.
And really, all this does is to say, when you talk to somebody and you don't know, I mean, you're saying, well, I'm gonna call you in the floodplain, you're too close to call.
Yep.
They have to prove that they're not.
Correct.
The only relevance is, how much am I gonna pay for home insurance?
Correct.
So ultimately, the insurance company's gonna make the determination based off these maps.
Insurance company with the banks.
Yeah.
They take that elevation certificate as a factual thing they accept that
They do.
for insurance purposes.
Yep. So 90% of the time, I'll require a floodplain certification. If it's in the shoreline, I'll require it, and that certificate will either say they're not or say they are.
And that usually is what, upwards to a half a day of a surveyor's time?
Yeah.
So a few $100s.
A few $100s.
So the real issue here is that the board has to, or city administration has to approve. If we fail to approve, they just go into effect, right?
That's right. If we don't have any action, we'll get paper copies that look just like this.
I missed that. What happens if we fail to approve?
If the board doesn't take any action, then this will get finalized, and someday you'll have paper copies.
It gets finalized as it is. So whether we accept it or not, it gets finalized.
No, that's not true. I mean, if you don't accept it, but you need to see some changes
Right,
or something.
if you don't accept it, you gotta go back with, we don't accept it for these reasons.
Right.
If we don't do anything
I
at
don't
all,
know how
we
you do
go
that.
pay.
I really think that this ought to have a public hearing, because this is more the whole public, not just the selectmen.
I guess I want to hear what they mean by accepting it. You know, accepting it, that we got the map. Yes, I accept that we got the map. Do I agree with all the elevations and the changes? How the hell do I know?
That's what I said.
So how can I accept something at that level? If it's, so I want to know what they want by us saying we accept it.
Yeah, what they're looking for is to make sure that we don't see any major discrepancies on where the floodplain is. If we don't see major discrepancies, then we're good to
We're
go.
gonna take a cursory review of this
You're
thing.
gonna go out and walk on
And
it.
unless there's something obvious,
Mhm.
I don't see that we would come up with any
I don't either.
recommendation.
We ought to measure this the next time we go out for our selectmen's yearly walk to establish the boundaries in the town of Waterboro.
So I guess, are we gonna get paper copies before approval?
I don't
or-
think you'll get paper copies until the deal is done.
The target for that is when?
An answer from Waterboro to these guys is due November 13th,
But when they hope to finish, is it sometime this winter?
2017.
So we don't see any unless there's something obvious. And
Right.
I mean, you guys, you know, you probably in a better position than we are to go through these.
Well, and I have, I mean, there's 2 water bodies,
Right,
there's,
and if there's anything obvious, then you say, oh my God, what are they doing that for?
right.
So if there's no recommendation out of your office to say, I think they screwed up here, right? I'm not sure what we would do.
Yeah.
Is there any piece of Waterboro that they put into the red line that wasn't in a floodplain before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a big
Yeah,
chunk up there in the line.
yeah, we've seen some. Yeah, Waterboro's got 2 major water bodies, right? Lake Arrowhead and Ospey Lake. I mean, there's a point right there.
Yeah, when we scrolled around,
We've got there.
There's
we've
more
got-
than that, I mean, you've got a lot
Yeah,
of lakes
that's
and ponds,
not-
Middle Branch Pond, you've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple of,
well, the influence is off the rivers, the Ospey River and any bodies of water, right? I mean, even in the little mill ponds and stuff, you know, a Moody Pond or whatnot, but those are all, I mean, look at this lake, it's 310 foot above sea level? I mean, we're not a depression, right?
That's
We're
right.
not on the coast where, is 0 feet above sea level, right?
About 10,000 years away on the coast.
Right.
Yeah, Cape Cod just had like something like 75% of a lot of the area just completely in floodplain now.
Yeah.
But at any rate, you want me to try to print these out on some kind of larger format paper and see if you
Even
can,
if-
because we've got these.
even if you could send them to us.
Yeah.
So we could look at
Take
them
some
individually and,
Just put them on the,
That might be a better
put 'em
idea,
on the
Tammy.
packet,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, on the, where we can access them on from the drive.
I've tried to print
I
them,
don't
but,
wanna download them to.
I think,
computer.
I imagine it's gonna come out really grainy,
no, the print is not too bad, but it's like putting a puzzle together.
yeah.
It's
Let's
pretty
see
hard.
if Lee J could,
What's
kind
the
of
resolution?
punch him out of his plot.
Oh, good idea.
They've got a large plot.
Yep, good idea, Gary. I'll do that. In fact, I'm gonna see him tomorrow.
And we could take half a dozen or a couple of dozen instances around these little ponds and look to see if it's something we want to go walk,
Yeah.
to see if it's a real oops.
Okay. If the deadline comes in November, I'll just tell him we need more time and,
No, we've got time to take a walk before November 9th.
okay.
If he can spit those out. Then we'll
Yeah,
get
some of them you really don't.
There's what, a couple dozen maps?
Hey, move down to
And
the
there might be half of
campground.
them that I'm gonna show you, but a little piece. Right.
What is it, 23?
23.
23 makes a copy?
No, 23 maps.
Oh,
They're panels.
Can you
panels.
bring up the campground one? Just out of curiosity.
Campground?
Campground, where
I don't know what panel that was, somewhere in number 10, number 12 maybe.
McLucas Road.
Let's see.
that's Lake Arrowhead.
Yeah, that's Bird's Lane, that's up in.
So therefore, if we get these maps and we see some significant places where there are, now it's floodplain where it wasn't before, then we want to look into those places in greater detail, which may even mean a walk, right?
That's,
Yeah, but I'm not sure it does any good for us to walk it, other than some exercise.
Well, other than you say, other than you go out there and say, this seems to be very dry. You look at the vegetation, it seems to be dry. They have it as a wetland. Now I have something that I have some concerns about. And otherwise, if you don't see anything like that, you sign off and say, okay.
Probably Thursday morning, about 5 o'clock would be the time to go, because you've got about 2 inches of rain coming.
Yeah,
But other than that, then most of these wetlands that they're calling floodplains ain't gonna show you any water.
alright, so if we hash this to death, so we can.
Yeah, I think we
move on,
beat
still got
this
a
up.
lot.
Yeah.
on the agenda.
Anything else we need to know, Glenn?
No, thank you for
So
your
it looks
time.
like the strategy is see if Lee J can
Do some
pump
paper
these
stuff.
things out and go
Okay.
from there.
All right.
Do you wanna bring it back to old business at your next meeting?
Yeah, we'll have to, I guess if we're
Hold it
gonna.
right there, Dave.
Yep.
Does anybody know what body of water that is?
Well, enlarge it. So we
Bagley Road?
Blow it up a couple times. Give us 200% of that, baby.
With a name on that. That said Bagley, yep.
There's no body of water there. There might be a old hole or something, a little bog.
Little farm pond up to the top, might be a marsh.
That's where the stream is?
That is up by the young lady that sells the vegetable, flowers.
That's a new
Mount
floodplain.
Lily's.
Yeah, there's a big bog hole right there,
Yeah.
and that's showing her pond right there.
Yeah.
You look at that though, Glenn, the pond is outside the new floodplain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the offlow of that all the way to the lake. That's what they're showing.
It's steep up to Chadwell
I
Ridge, and
think
then
you'll
it's,
find that
then it's all kind of boggy down in there.
Yeah, look at the lines. The lines are really close together. That means steep.
Yeah. All right,
Used to be trout down there.
let's move on.
All right.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
What, trout?
Yeah. Back in 1984 or so, I was trout fishing down there.
All right, item
Oh, this is my
D,
Lucas Road.
junkyard permit for Richard and Robin Lavigne.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes?
I just want to
Christine.
add for this and the following two items, I did have a telephone conversation with Deputy Sanborn, and he is not opposed to any of these.
And we got some feedback from Glenn, right? Just approval. I think that's it. Okay?
And Mike.
And Mike?
Right.
Yeah. So any discussion on the Levine? All those in favor? Opposed? 5-0. All right, Danny Lasky,
So
Goodwin's
moved.
Mills Road.
I'll second that.
We get the same recommendations from both Mike and,
These, I just want to comment that they're just renewals, and we've had no complaints in the past since they was permitted.
we don't have an issue with the amount of junk, right? We got other worse looking junkyards that aren't licensed junkyards. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? All right. The third, it's not a junkyard. Third item there is, well, the next item, vote to discuss and approve renewal of the pawnbroker's license for Waterboro Pawn and Gold. There are some issues with this, I understand. Predominantly driven by storage.
Yeah, he was storing fuel-fired equipment in the basement of the business,
Okay,
and the basement wasn't set up for such storage against all codes. And he's agreed to either make the room code compliant for such storage, or to empty the fuel tanks. And Gary talked to him today when I was there, and he is in the process of emptying the fuel tanks on that equipment. It's like, mowers and rototillers and
chainsaws or whatever.
chainsaws, but I smelled fumes the minute I walked in. It was a combustible environment.
Yeah, and that building's already burnt once.
Yeah,
And that's not the only business in it.
that's
Right.
correct.
How did they get a recommended approval from the fire department then?
I don't know that, sir.
Well, you recommend approval with the following conditions, right? Which
Right.
was your letter to him.
Yeah.
So what's your pleasure here, folks?
When does his business license expire? Because there's something with the ceiling he needs to correct.
Yeah, the fire barrier between the two floors is broken. He cut out some sheetrock to do some plumbing repairs, and that had to be fixed. So the barrier had to be fixed to make it a
Do we
full-fledged
know,
barrier.
Christine, when is it?
October 31st.
So
He did,
he waited till the last minute to apply.
we haven't seen that before, but
Well-
he did say he emptied the tanks, I believe, yesterday.
I haven't verified that,
He
but
hasn't verified that. He did tell me that on the phone today.
I would make a motion to approve pending the CEO revisiting the business to make sure that the combustible situation is resolved, at least for the time being.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to have the fire department review that again,
Okay.
along with.
Hey, my only question on taking the stuff, the fuels out of the,
What's he doing with it?
what's he doing with it, is right.
Yeah, is he just dumping it on the ground
gonna
out
say-
back?
He has to comply with
He's
hazardous
gotta
waste.
comply with
regulations.
DEP, but what do you do with used gas?
yeah, I don't know.
I know what I would do, but
Well, my biggest concern is you've got this pawn shop that's got a combustible situation next door to a store that's cooking pizza and food. It
has
seems
gas
like
tanks out back.
that is an extremely dangerous
It
situation.
is.
And so unless he's removed that immediate danger, I'm not interested in seeing them get their business license until it's fixed.
Understood?
Okay, so, it's been moved and seconded to, approve pending the CEO fire department revisit. All those in favor? Opposed? All right. So he has some homework to do. Okay, moving on. Review, first quarter report.
Need some lights here.
Yeah, we're gonna have the lights back on.
And Gordon, did you see what you wanted to see there?
we always took whole motor and just kept on.
Yeah, I was actually looking, yeah, I wanted to go up to the Blucher show, but it's fine.
So,
I think that's.
none of it's in there. There. Other than the beaver pond up on the Lucas Road.
Is the board done with me?
We're done.
You don't want to hang out some more?
Nope, I don't. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes.
Clint, I'm gonna be at their office Thursday morning for an executive committee meeting, so let's get together tomorrow.
I'll give you the CD, or I'll email it to him, or
Um,
we have 2 copies of the CD, so I'll just give you one.
I'd love to take one with me.
Okay?
Yep. Okay, if the board would take out their expense summary report, it's got the colors on it there. Since we're in the first quarter here, I didn't do an extensive report, I thought we would just go down this document. I have one in front of you that's
No, I don't. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yep.
For the moment, let's talk about the expense side, we can talk about the revenues a little bit, that'll be even more brief. On page 1, about a third of the way down, tax bills. 95% expended, obviously that happens once a year, that's the reason for that. Down in the middle of the page, 10-town group dues, Tammy?
Yep.
Is that what that is?
Yep.
Okay,
We should really change that to 1210.
yeah, we should.
Yeah,
That's easy. Going down in leases, the next yellow line down, obviously we pay some, if not most, annual payments one time, and that's why that's skewed to well over 25%. The next one, I think, is one of the more egregious under-budgeting things that I did was property and casualty. And you can see that I budgeted 14,000 and we're just under 19. So nobody to blame that one on, but me, I guess, in terms of we did not budget enough for that.
So the resolution of that is within, manipulating within the budget here, or?
In my mind, I think we have to absorb that.
Okay.
Probably not in that line,
Okay, no, I understand.
but it would be nice if we could.
Yep.
Moving over to page 2.
where is the anticipation that we're gonna receive those funds from? What line is,
What funds?
How are you gonna
well,
balance it?
how are we gonna pay this the overage of $4,978? Where's that coming from?
In my mind, somewhere else in the budget, we would not be expending that much and make sure that that is there to cover it.
So that would be something that we wouldn't know until year end?
Well, you've had me do this before, your request in mid to late June, we've actually made some publicly announced transfers from one account to another
Okay.
to do that.
All right.
But just be continually aware that the $4,000 deficit is there.
Yeah, it's not gonna go away, it's gonna show red.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be there until well into June. The next page is one for MMA training, but that's tiny, tiny dollars. I don't see we need to talk about that. Let's go to the bottom of page 2. There are 3 highlighted there. One of the nice things you do when you do a quarterly report, you find some mistakes in coding. So under the telephone line there, that's Dave's reimbursement for his cell phone. And we found $277 in there that should not have be billed to Dave's cell phone account. So that will be corrected, and it'll get back more to the 25%. Which is where it should be. The equipment line, Dave can jump in since he's here, but my understanding is a lot of hardware purchases that have been approved happen in that first quarter of the year. And in the software line, kind of the same argument. Trio, the other big purchases that we do for annual software, those happen early in the year.
Correct.
Have anything else you want to add to that?
No, that sums it up. I mean, the majority up front, and then the last half a year is more of a trickle.
Right, so when we get to mid-year in the third quarter, those will be more to the 50 and 75% line where they should be. Going over to page 3, there's a sizable, about a third of the way down, under municipal buildings. We spent $2,300 for electrical work. It was considerable, mostly in the basement, to get rid of extension cords, to make that more code compliant over there in that work area. And I think it'll be interesting when Department of Labor goes over there to see what else we might need to do. I'm not sure they went there several years ago. Going over to page 4, Parks and Rec. Usual fluctuations, I guess you would say, with some additional questions, some changes too. In the program payroll, the first one there, we've spent 43% so far this year in the first quarter. Last year we were at 39. You usually get that heavy summer payroll starting July 1st, so it skews you well over the 25% as you would expect. And coming down to grounds maintenance, the next one down there, we put in, we've really had some ants and other insects killing some of the grass in the field. We spent $1,200 for pest spraying to kill bugs on playing fields, which I don't think I budgeted for much, if at all. Mike might have in what he had, but I wasn't aware we were going to be needing that much constant spraying. We also put water lines in to Friendship Park, and that's also some of the fittings and other work that came in to have those new hydrants out there so that they can water the field at Friendship. Now let's get into more of the details down below on program expenses. For one of the summer programs, there were 30 more kids. They had 70 the year before. They had slightly over 100 this time. Mike and I, for some now fairly unintelligent reason, budgeted $4,400 less this year than we did last. And obviously that was not the right move, because if you're going to have more kids in popular programs, your budget's going to go up. So
Okay, so there should have been revenue that offset that.
there's $7,100 in revenue ahead of where they were last year. So some of that is reflected in those 30 kids there. We also had a change in the busing. It was $8,400 in busing this time around. Last year, I think we had about $2,000 in bus driver payroll fees because we paid the drivers directly. This time from the school, we paid a set fee per mile that included the driver and fuel and everything else. So last year you had some of the fuel for the buses coming out of the fuel account. This year you didn't have any of that. It came with a per mile fee from the school. Any questions about rec? I know there's
So where is that gonna leave us on? We have had too many instances where our Parks and Rec budget has gone beyond what was budgeted.
Yes.
And we need to make sure that this is going to stay where it's budgeted, or they're gonna need to make some adjustments early on.
Have you ever had the situation, I understand that, Have you ever been able to investigate with Natalie whether you could, if you have more kids and more programs and more revenue, reach a net figure to the taxpayers so
Well,
that you wouldn't have to have a special meeting like you did before?
I believe the way that we worded the warrant is that it's X number of dollars plus revenue.
Plus additional revenue?
Isn't that how we worded
No,
it?
that's the way it used to be. And we took that back because there was always this understanding of, well, if I create a new program and I have more revenue, I can spend more money, okay?
We gave them a set
So
figure to
we
spend.
said, this is what you need, okay? Tell us what you need, that's what the town meeting will fund, okay? And that is it. So if it stops well, I started a new program in the middle of the year. And I guess if nothing more, and I guess the reason that I said that if you had more kids in summer camp, you had more revenue, all right? So the only way that you're gonna be able to use that revenue to offset the more kids is at, special town meeting or something. You say, we brought in $7,100 more in revenue that we're gonna apply to programs because we had more kids sign up.
But don't you want to get to a point you can legally take that extra revenue and apply it against those expenses
No.
without having to have a special town meeting?
No,
Okay.
only because we ran into this before, and
More
and
than
I think it
once.
was the year that we started Funergy. It was like, well, we started Funergy, and I got all this revenue, and I'm okay, I'm paying for it, but he didn't have any authority to spend the money.
I spent a better part of a year systematically going through all the figures to find out where all the expenditures were in there, and it was like, if you do that, it's like a runaway train. Just,
And then we had, this room, the hallways all around filled with parents because we were the bad guys and we were gonna shut down Parks and Rec, and I'm not interested in going through that again.
Well,
We got a
that's why I floated the idea, which is good in principle, I guess.
Well,
but
you
poor in
can
practice.
always, in another town meeting, you could always word the warrant article that there is some additional, if there's additional revenues that come in because programs increase, that money can be spent against the program, but the article has to cover that. Right now,
It should come back to the board of selectmen for that vote for that
That's right.
expenditure.
but the fact of the matter is that right now, he's got X dollars to spend, period.
157.
And the expectation is that he's got X amount of revenue coming in. So, so I go back to the fact that if he's got no revenue coming in, if he's got a hole in his revenues, then he can't spend his entire budget. Because how are you gonna make up the hole in the revenue? If he doesn't collect $15,000 in revenue, where does that $15,000 come from? We didn't approve it at town meeting. We gave him X amount out of taxation, a surplus, and the rest is out of the revenues of the program. So that's why, last year, I've talked to you on several occasions of, if you're down in revenues, you gotta be down in expenditures. It's gotta balance. Other than that seed money that we put forward, and we increased that, John, right? 2 or 3 years ago, we went from 40,000 to 80 or something, or 90.
Yeah.
So for the moment anyway, he's up a little over $7,000 in revenues.
Well, he's got 9 months to plan how he's gonna not overexpend, basically.
That's
And I
it all.
don't mean to be mean to Mike, but that's the nature of the
We
beast.
spent 2 years going through.
Anything else on page 4, rec? If not, we go to page 6. First one, EMA and code red. One of the biggest wastes of money, I think, but it was authorized by town meeting. We were told to do it, so here we are, as we still have a code red membership. It was against all staff recommendations. Town meeting warned it, so that's why it's in there. Going down the next line, travel. We took that $2,500 since it was not going to be paid to Lisa. Since Lisa has a vehicle now, we put it towards the pickup truck that was purchased. That was also a suggested line that we did not need, goes past that town meeting. Dues and subscriptions, and I think that's just obvious, annual payments up front early. Ambulance mailing down below, mailing costs, I think, for the ambulance
Description.
subscription, right? Not club.
All right, so this next one, Roscon.
Yep.
These guys continue to frustrate me. Because 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they came in here, they hadn't spent their money, and the year ended, and then they came in after all their money. Now, they're coming in all after, for all their money up front.
I told them.
Okay.
Listen, I'll give you a check. I don't need to have this justification for it. You're gonna
Right,
get
so-
this number of dollars.
As long as, I'm okay with, if that's what you did, that's fine.
But not one of me, if you
We
don't like
need,
it.
we need some consistency from them, and it was always in the 11th hour, they were coming in here trying to spend all that money.
If we have an agreement between them that they split their fees from 3 towns and Waterboro's gonna pay X, in my mind, I don't need to see what they paid it on. If you want it, then we'll do it differently next year.
All right, no, that's fine,
I said.
as long as we know, that's what it is.
Going over to page 7, toward the bottom, in Public Works, the other things up above in substance aren't really big dollars. On Hot Top, line 5230 called Hot Top. That does include some, not all, of the Deering Ridge and Straw Mill Brook bills. I think we still have one paving bill that may be substantive, because that 150 is not enough for what we know we spent through today. Signs down below, we've been replacing a lot of signs and buying some others to make roadways safer, and you've seen those going up around town. Plus they get stolen all the time.
That sand, winter sand, we haven't started putting that up, but is that going out to bid?
Winter sand?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
we have in the past.
Okay, I've not done that.
Just,
I thought we bought it from Dayton at really reasonable price.
we,
Thought it was $3.
we bought it from Frankie for years and then put it out to bid. Dayton was a little cheaper, but you've got 3 other big pits here in town. The question is whether they can meet the state of town specs on the grid of it, but anything over 20,000, according to that charter, says it's gotta go out to bid, so,
According to purchasing policy.
right.
Well, certainly something that we ought to look at.
You want me to do that?
I don't think it would
Yeah,
take
I
too long
guess
to say, hey, we're gonna put up X amount of, we're gonna put so much up and we wanna reserve X amount if we need it, right?
Okay.
And what's the number? I mean, and it might be very well be that, you know, it's a one-page
And-
bid form that
and-
says, I'm gonna sell it there for
And
this.
maybe at the same time, when we put it out to bid, trucked in or picked up at the pit. I mean,
Well, we know we aren't trucking it.
Well,
We bought a dump.
Dayton's been trucking it. I think that we had a discussion a few years ago about this because it was cheaper, I think, to go with Dayton because they were trucking it in for us rather than using our own trucks. And,
Mileage. There's something else about the
That's right, it was the
mileage,
mileage.
Yeah, the mileage.
I'd say
thing, yeah.
mileage from Dayton is shorter than Frankie's and I
Right.
know a haul, so.
Okay,
All right. Let's see, on the last page.
Right, you've got Dearborn's pit down there that's got about everything in it, which is
and a
even
60-foot
shorter.
hole.
Yeah,
Last page, upgrade roads. This is for the phase 2 work of Straw Mill Brook and Deering Ridge without the paving. The catch basins, the culverts, labor and materials, but all that work that's been going on pretty much all summer long, spanned over 2 fiscal years. In a broader sense, the health insurance lines appear okay. The retirement lines, as we know, that town contribution to main PERS changed after we set our budget. So I think the retirement lines are gonna be overspent this year. We'll have to make an adjustment for that.
I'm just looking at Lake Arrowhead Conservation Commission.
Yep.
Oh, that's the, where's our,
Gave them $3,000.
yep, where's our Conservation Commission? We have some funds.
It's certainly not active anymore.
No, but we
but the
have
funds-
money in there. There's
But that would be a designated
7
account.
or
It
so
probably wouldn't show here
$1,000.
because it wasn't budgeted.
So they still have some money that
Yeah.
rolls over,
Right.
stays with
So
them.
it's in a designated account.
On the revenue side, very quickly, tonight's getting long here. We are.
Two things. How are we doing for taxes and excise? Those are the two,
Okay.
those are the two big ones. Other than
We're
that,
35% collected out of 2.33 million, so we collected 817,000 out of 2.33. Motor vehicle excise, we budgeted 900, we've collected 301. So we're a little ahead of the game of 25%.
well, we can look at.
And in terms of taxes, shoot, I was supposed to bring that report in here, it's right on my desk.
She had a revenue.
Yeah,
Revenue.
you got one of those a week ago, I haven't updated it to today,
That's fine.
but certainly, obviously, that's.
There was nothing radically different, I don't think.
And I guess other than questions, that's it from me on the quarterly.
Everybody else set on that?
Yep.
Discuss holding a special town meeting. This is to cover the shortfall that we have in the snowplow contract. Predominantly, that's what we're looking at. Bids came in higher than what we had budgeted. There was only one bid, so it is what it is. So we gotta deal with that. It's certainly not something that we gotta do immediately because we are allowed to overrun winter snow or winter roads, but we probably ought to do that. And I guess really the question is there anything else that we want to deal with?
So do we want to put that
Well,
off?
the insurance,
Yeah,
It's
you
something
could
that's
throw
gonna
that
be-
insurance in there to cover that. It's only $5,000, but that's something that we could address.
I have another item, and it's a good and bad. The good part is we've had a lot of volunteers to the fire department. I mean, the bad part is the chief would like to have 14 additional sets of gear because we've got people that need them.
And what did he budget for?
I think we budgeted for 6. And
So we got a net 20.
we've put as many as we can into the whole rack full of things that are upstairs, but a lot of those just don't fit, and you don't put baggy gear on somebody.
So what's the cost per outfit?
It's about $1,700, up to that anyway. You can get some vendors that may be a little cheaper, but
6, so he,
if you plan on $2,000, that's more than plenty.
okay, so that's $20,000 he's looking for?
Yes,
For 10 sets, because he's got 6 now, right? You
6
said?
budgeted for,
6 budgeted, so,
14 additional.
yeah, you gotta have.
So I would put, turnout gear on there if you want to have that as a,
I think my opinion is we identify some of this stuff. None of it is like earth-shatteringly urgent. We can manage that. And as we get into the new calendar year, then I think we set something up, and because you never know what's gonna creep up, right?
Yeah, I'd wait
Where
till
we
late
don't-
winter.
Yeah, where we don't have something that's really pressing. I mean, yeah, the snowplow contract, but that is what it is. I mean, so unless anybody feels that we ought to be having one next week, I just
do it
don't.
after the first of the year.
Yeah,
I think so,
yeah,
because you got money enough to cover them.
right. Let's just see what
And if you
things
say
go.
it's something that can be,
Okay? But let's bookkeep those items as
Yep.
At least, and if something else comes up, then we'll address that.
Did you want to add the retirement funds to that?
There might be something as well,
Yeah.
if we get those issues.
And by
I mean,
that time,
some of
you're
it-
gonna know what that is.
Right. All right, last item, I, which is the roof bids.
Let me tell you, I don't need an answer from you tonight on a choice for contract you might want to hire. In my email to you today, I said, maybe we back up and either put it out to bid again this winter or go back to looking at spray and insulation up above for $45,000 to $50,000. I am still leery about even being able to spray insulation up above and have it do the job and be uniformly thick because of all the stuff that's up there. You can't even get a wand in some of those places, never mind a person, so. And our insulation engineer kind of agreed with that because we walked him up there and he saw all that mess. I don't like the prices, but I don't know that they're going to change. I was hoping they'd be, you know, more of them in the 65 to 70 bracket. We only have essentially 2 of those there.
I talked to 2 different local contractors, and neither one of them had time to do that this fall. And the comment of one of them was, have we had an engineer look at that and say that the roof trusses up there are gonna take that extra weight?
No, we've had a civil engineer, not a structural engineer.
The question that he brought up, and I didn't ever give it much thought till I get those bids from you, was whether those roof trusses are gonna hold that extra, are designed to hold that extra weight.
The extra weight from blown in insulation?
Well, no, you're gonna
We're
put,
doing a roof.
2 or 3 inches of insulation on the top of this roof that's
Yeah.
out here now, and then put an extra layer of plywood on that, and then screw that down. The other comment that was brought up from him was, am I gonna be able to hit those roof trusses with a screw, because are they, every one of them, dead center? And probably not. 22 and a half or 18, or are they, what are they on center?
2 foot.
And 2 foot, so are they 24 and a half, or are they 23 and a half? Are they,
But a guy like that, he's gonna have the same problem in any
Yeah.
place that he goes, right?
yeah,
So we're not gonna map out where the hell the trusses are.
They need to do that with a chalk line or put somebody up there to make sure they've hit them. The other thing we're looking at is an insulated product that also has a cold airspace above it. Those little tiny chalks right there have about a 3/4 of an inch cold space that's right beneath the new sheathing and above the old insulation. And Mr. Lotz, our insulation engineer, thinks that this might be a good product. He's familiar with it, it's good, it's expensive, but it saves some labor because this has insulation, cold space, and 5/8 sheathing on top of it in one product. You slap it down, you're done. It would be nice if this could be attached to the existing sheathing and not have to hit the members. And there's several attachment pages in here. Don't know if that can be done yet, but
this same contractor was talking that same material, so.
so I think this is a perfect product because we know we have heat leakage up there, and if there was a little bit of leakage between the seams, it wouldn't matter because this cold airspace would take it right up and out the ridge vent.
So the question becomes, we got bids, but we might reconsider what we're gonna do.
Or go out for bids in the spring and think you get more of them?
We can get by another winter here if we want, and we can get some cold air up in there and cool that off, make it better, maybe not fix it, but we can figure out how to do it. We've got one gable vent above the entryway in the building that's, probably 2.5 foot in circle.
You're talking about keeping the roof, keeping the thing up there.
If
cold.
we got some cross ventilation going to another gable vent, which doesn't even exist behind David, on that section of the building, then I think we could, even if we don't do that, we know we can go another winter here for the problems that it is.
Okay, here's another question. You got a furnace up there with no way of getting it out. Is it time to put some type of a gable building roof over that furnace so that if we need to, we can get that furnace out?
The only way that's gonna come out is through the front wall. You'd have to tear the wall back.
That's,
Or
yeah,
cut the roof open.
I'll cut the roof open.
Yeah.
If you put a gable piece over the top of that furnace, you can come out through there with a forklift.
Oh, I see what you're saying, put a new gable on top of there and pull it out.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, we probably ought to be planning for the future because that furnace now is 15 years old, and I'm sure that when we built this building, we didn't put the best in because I wasn't involved, but they was cutting, they had a $750,000 building that we put up here for $500,000, and now we paid for it 3 times.
I would put Mitsubishi heat pumps in the exterior walls and say to heck with what's upstairs. And you'd have to buy some bigger ones to do that and get this taken care of up front here. The office is not a challenge at all to do those. And, those things,
Let that thing rot up
those
there.
things work. And it gets both heat and cold.
But I know this furnace has been a problem right from the get-go, and
I mean, it gives us heat and it cools us off just fine. The cooling works better than the heating. I roast in my office every day. But it'll work this winter if we want.
I know that these girls on this end, years ago, right after the building was built, had portable heaters underneath the desk to keep their feet warm.
And well, some of them still do. But
Anyway,
We're not gonna
Everybody
solve
just-
that.
So we're not gonna solve this tonight, we're not gonna accept a bid, that's up to, I guess, whatever you're gonna go forward with.
all right, so FYI, maybe I'll talk to the installation engineer again and Doug and see where we go.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of putting a roof on in the middle of the winter. So 2 of these outfits could do it by the end of next month probably, but,
No.
I think you're just asking for trouble.
Yep.
and I'd rather do it in the spring if it's gonna be that way.
All right. No old business, other discuss and vote to approve minutes of the October 13th regular meeting.
So moved.
one correction.
Yeah.
Talking about Maine ranked 9th in the nation in terms of people in domestic violence situations. It's 9th in the nation related to domestic violence homicides.
So, there were 3 of us here, I believe, that night, so.
Yeah.
I would look to this end of the table for a motion and a second,
I make a motion with the one correction.
okay?
So
I
moved.
think I missed that.
Yeah, I think you'll,
Yeah.
So moved.
okay? So moved and seconded, all those in favor, opposed?
302.
302.
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions. Pending decisions, comprehensive plan, task list, that meeting went fairly good last week. Week's action list, get everything squared away, we're gonna sign the, thing for Hollis, right? Send that off. Any other action list other than what you're gonna do with the roof? Not for me, okay?
Flood maps, further discussion.
Pardon?
Further discussion on the flood maps.
Right, further discussion on the flood maps.
Yeah, we're gonna wait until we get the, look at the printouts of their,
Which leads us into agenda items, other agenda items. We've got, we're gonna revisit board and committee applications. Gonna reschedule this person that missed tonight. Do we have any-
School board applications have to be in
Friday.
this Friday, which is the 30th.
30th.
Yeah.
30th.
So Tuesday evening, we're meeting to discuss those applicants.
That's
And then we're scheduling a meeting, we will notify them and then do the interviews on Thursday evening.
Both of those at 6 p.m., right?
Right.
If it's really slow, I'll come Tuesday night.
If there's no more than a couple of applicants, I guess that becomes easy, right? So we'll see how that shakes out. Have we heard anything at this point?
And the person that had inquired, I emailed her and she didn't respond, so I expect her to reply, but I haven't received anything yet.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Talk to her tomorrow too. Do we have any more information about that piece of property that you and Michael walked over for the potential for some athletic fields for the town?
I have the survey, and Thursday morning I'm going to Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission for the executive committee. I'm going to try and get copies made that day of the survey and give them to you. And also I got Sewell Company to hopefully put the 2-foot contour layer, which is free from the state, on our GIS that you and I were looking at today. We can then look at the 2-foot contour maps of those individual properties. And then I'll give you a little better feel for where the flat area is.
Has he given you any indication on what he might be looking for in terms of
Well, I think
a price?
we should probably talk glittering generalities since we're, in public session right now. But
Well, I just need a yes or no.
I would,
he'd rather have an offer from the town.
Huh?
He'd rather have an offer from the town.
Oh, okay, all right.
I would look at that into the floodplain, because I got a funny feeling that a third of that piece of property is in floodplain.
Oh, certainly a good part of it with that swamp right there. It's obvious when you look at it, so.
Yeah.
I told him that. I'm not gonna pay you much for that swamp. I think it's interesting and we should continue to investigate.
Yeah.
Anything else, folks, for the agenda? Sensing none, we
Make a
need,
motion to adjourn.
we got items needing signatures, the minutes in that policy agreement with Hollis. Now I'll take a motion.
Motion to
You're gonna,
adjourn.
you're gonna sign Hollis tonight?
Yeah.
Can you just let everybody know the fuel assistance appointments are canceled tomorrow?
Okay, fuel assistance, appointments are canceled tomorrow. So if you have any questions, you should contact York County Community Action at 324-5762. Okay? So it's been moved, seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? Good night.